Everyone watches for first words. Say mama, say dada. Do you know this word? But there's something happening long before words show up. And most parents don't even realize it's a milestone. It's not what your child says, it's what your child shares with you. And if you know what to look for, it changes how you see communication completely. Most parents I talk to are focused on speech. Is my child talking enough? Are they behind? Should they have more words by now? And that makes sense. Speech is visible. It's easy to measure, but sometimes a child can have words and still not be fully connecting communication in the way we expect. Other times, a child has very few words, but strong shared attention and is actually building the right foundation. And that's where confusion happens, because communication doesn't start with talking. It starts with shared attention. Joint attention is simple to define and powerful in development. It means a child looks at something and shares that moment with another person, or follows what someone else is looking at. That could be pointing at a dog, showing a toy, looking back and forth between an object and a caregiver, reacting to, did you see that? Moments. Communication starts when attention becomes shared. Before a child uses language, they need to understand something foundational. That experience can be shared with another person. That is, if I point at something and you look too, that creates meaning. That shared moment is what language eventually attaches to. Without it, words don't have a strong anchor. So when we think about language development, we're really looking at layers. Shared attention first, then meaning, then words. Words don't start language. Shared attention does. We often think of attention as the ability to focus, but in early childhood, attention is also social. Children don't just learn by exploring the world on their own, they learn by watching the people around them and sharing experiences with them. When a parent points to a bird or says, "Look at that airplane," they're teaching their child what is important, interesting, and worth paying attention to. This is one of the primary ways children learn. They watch where others look, what captures their attention, and how they respond. Through these shared moments, children learn language, social interaction, and how to make sense of the world around them. That's why caregivers are so important. Every time you point something out, share excitement, or follow your child's gaze, you're helping shape not only what they learn, but how they learn. Learning isn't passive. It's built through shared experiences. Joint attention develops at different speeds. Some children point early, constantly showing objects, frequently checking back and forth with caregivers. Others develop it more gradually, show fewer obvious gestures at first, express interest in different ways, and this variation can be typical, but what matters most is whether your child is continuing to build new skills and making developmental progress over time. Development is a pattern over time, not a single moment. Joint attention becomes more meaningful when we look at patterns. Things to notice over time: limited pointing or showing, rare back and forth sharing of interests, minimal response to shared attention attempts, reduced social referencing or checking in with a caregiver. These are signals to observe development more closely and discuss with a pediatrician if concerns persist. It's not the absence of one behavior, it's a pattern around it. Speech is what we hear, but joint attention is what makes speech meaningful. Without shared attention, words are harder to connect. Learning from others is harder. Communication becomes less interactive. With shared attention, language builds naturally, learning accelerates, connections deepen. So the goal isn't just more words, it's building more moments of shared connection. Here are some key takeaways. Watch for shared moments, not just spoken words. Notice whether your child points, shows, or brings things to you. If you're unsure, track patterns over time rather than single moments. If this helped you see your child's communication in a new way, subscribe to our channel. We break down early development in ways that are practical, grounded, and useful for real parenting moments. And if there's something you've been wondering about your child's development, leave it in the comments. It may become part of a future episode of the things no one tells parents.